My name's Chris. I was born and raised down here, 25 years old. I've been super active my whole life, played sports my whole life, football, wrestling, was a gymnast for 11 years, wakeboarded all growing up, water skiing, all that stuff. The way it started for me was probably I want to say probably 3 or 4 years ago, right when I finished school. I was working a job where I'd spend hours on the road driving every day. I would start to notice where, like, just from driving I would get a lot of like burning sensations in my neck and all the way down my arm, and at first it wasn't too bad, and then it kind of kept getting worse and worse and worse. At first it was just mainly driving. If I'd be in the car for more than a couple hours, it would start hurting. It would start hurting pretty bad. I'd have to pull over, maybe take some ibuprofen, nothing too bad. Then as it progressed, it was more and more where I'd be driving for 20 minutes and I'd have to pull over, or I work in a restaurant, so I go to lift a tray and I couldn't lift the tray, or I had to stop working out. I had to stop doing the stuff that I've always done my whole life, and just got to the point where I kind of felt like I just wasn't able to be myself anymore. I didn't meet with other surgeons, but I did meet with a pain specialist and had a couple epidurals done, just trying to do little things that could fix the problem without having to go all the way through with the surgery. Dr. Campbell definitely recommended it. Had, I believe it was 3 epidurals done, where I guess cortisone or steroid injections into the herniation to try to see if that could get the inflammation down. Like I said, did it 3 times. See, right afterwards I'd have some results, but then within a week or 2 the pain would be right back to where it was and just kept getting worse. We decided I needed the surgery after seeing this pain specialist for a while. He basically told me what I needed to do. We set up a date for like 3 or 4 weeks later and had it done within a month. Going into the surgery, I wasn't too, no real anxiety. I mean, I've had a couple elbow surgeries from sports injuries. My dad's had the same surgery, so I kind of knew what to expect from him. Dr. Campbell went over everything, said you're going to be in the hospital for 1 night. We're going to put you in a soft neck brace, which I guess has changed from years past where they had to wear the hard neck brace. Basically went over all that, going to be out of work for a couple weeks. Don't expect to be done with surgery and be 100% right away. Know that you're going to have to take it slow. Spent 1 night in the hospital. Obviously it wasn't the best night, but it's just one. They let me go the next day. First couple days I stayed at my parents' house, kind of didn't leave the couch, but me, I get a little stir crazy, so I was driving home about 2 days later and stopping at work and saying hi to everybody there. Kept me out of work for probably 3 or 4 weeks before I could kind of go back as like a part-time basis. But even then, it was 3 weeks later, it was already better than it was before the surgery. Yeah, there were really no complications to my surgery at all. Honestly, it all went great. It was better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I've had a couple elbow surgeries done, and me thinking I'm having my neck done, it's going to be a whole lot worse, and it really wasn't. I mean, you're uncomfortable for a couple days, you're sleeping a little weird, your neck brace is, I mean, you're wearing a neck brace. I mean, it's one of those things where you just kind of get used to it. Scar, can't even see it. It was less than a year ago. I have friends that have had like little cancers cut off, and they have these huge scars, and I always make fun of them because I had a plate in my neck and you can't even see where they put it in. I think for me, the best thing about my experience with Dr. Campbell is if I needed anything, I could literally call up and he would call back right away. Like when I was in the hospital and I was a little uncomfortable, he immediately called in and got everything worked out for me within minutes. There was no apprehension about calling your doctor. Like, you were never intimidated by him or anything like that. It was a very natural relationship. Previous to my surgery, I've spent my whole life doing sports, spent my whole life going to the gym, spent my whole life doing things like that. And previously to surgery, I had to stop it all. I almost felt like I wasn't myself before the surgery. And now, less than a year later, I can do anything that I could do before the surgery without any pain. It's all, I mean, it's perfect. It's like I was back in high school. I'd absolutely recommend Dr. Campbell. My experience is great with him. My dad's experience is great with him. Everybody I've talked to has had, if they had their surgery done by, even if they had it done by somebody else, they would say, you know, we've heard great things about Dr. Campbell. I almost wish I would have had my surgery done by him. He honestly, I mean, I can't think of anything he could have done differently that would have made my experience better.